what is the high school makeup ethnically? What is the racial makeup of the school?
Yeah, so certainly the majority of the student population are BIPOC. The Latinx student population is the highest percentage-wise, I believe.
Wait. The majority of Richfield High School is non-white.
Correct.
Okay. So then how many, what percentage would you say is white?
I just recently looked at reports from the Department of Education, Richfield's school report card from MDE, and I believe it's somewhere in the 25 to 27% range.
Wow, that's a lot lower than I would have thought it would have been. But the staff makeup, what is the staff makeup at Richfield?
Overwhelmingly white. I think as far
95, 99, 90%?
I think it's like 95, 96% as far as teachers and administrators go. Yes.
Okay, so we're at a time where, I mean, and obviously police brutality, modern day lynchings, this stuff has been going on for some time, since the inception of the country, and right now people are in kind of in the heat of it. I mean, we're coming out of what some would say an uprising, and the city, emotionally is still on fire, and these kids want to go out and do a march to recognize that, and the staff then shunned you for participating in that. My question is, how had the staff dealt with racial inequity and disparity up until that point? Because if you got a mostly non-white student base, mostly BIPOC student base, and almost overwhelmingly white staff base, is there some tension that was already going on beforehand? Or this couldn't have just been like, oh, we now have problems because, Mr. Walker's going out with the march. What was going on before that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the short answer from what I've seen, what I've heard, and then also what I've gathered just from listening to my students about what staff does to address these issues is they don't. They don't. And that was something that students had voiced to me, many times, was a lack of space, really, a lack of space to be able to address these issues because staff didn't really want to touch them. And it might, be this happened in the news, right? Just so we're all aware. Or it might be, a mass email with going out to everybody on the district mailing list about, just so you're aware, this is what happened, and these are the talking points that you should give to support students. But something that, knowing that, and again, coming from listening to my students and learning from my students, something that I tried to be intentional about in my instruction was trying to open up that space in my classroom. Something that I would do often was to actually step right outside of the classroom, right outside of the door, so I was still monitoring students, but saying, this is your space. And I always emphasize that. This is your space, this is your classroom. I'm just here as a guide and as an advisor. But actually stepping out, because I know that my presence in that space censors, it censors students as a white man, certainly, and then doubly as an authority figure of sorts, as a teacher. We would do that often, where when something would come up, particularly involving racial injustice or inequity or police violence against BIPOC folks, particularly Black folks. I would open up that space for students, try and remove myself from that space so they could have an open and honest conversation with each other, and then after a certain amount of time, would check in with them and say, do you want to invite me back into this space, or do you need more time?